Hey, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so happy you're here today. I am working on making an image into a die cut. We have challenges over at Cut It Up, and sometimes I'll see an image that I just love, and it's a digital one, and I want to make it into a die cut. And I'm sure the same has happened to you. So let's talk about how we do that in case you don't know. I'll start at the very beginning. So here I am in Design Space, and I have not very much up on my screen. I just have who I am and who we're going to be using today in our demo. We're going to be using Lulu from Lulu and Lonnie Bundle of Love. So let's get started. First thing you're going to want to do is import your image. So you're going to come over here and you're going to find your upload button. It's over here on the left. I'm going to left click that. Then I know I want to upload an image. I simply pick it up with my mouse and drag it over. And there's little Lulu. So I'll be honest, I just always use complex for every image. All right, so I've clicked complex, hit continue, and there she is. Now she's already pretty much done as a digital cut. However, see these little hairs up here? That's not going to cut. So I'm going to show you how to make her into that die cut. All right, so we're going to hit apply, continue. Here's her title. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to type in a few tag words like I know she's a Connie Fong image. So if I just type in Connie Fong, this little piggy will come up. I know her name is Lulu. I could do that. I could type in pig. I could type in hearts. I could type in Valentine's Day. I'm doing all this on my keyboard. And I'm separating each one with a comma. So that way, if I want to go back and I want to find her, it'll be easier to do. She's wearing a little tutu, so let's go ahead and type that in just for fun. And then if I want to add it to a collection, I can do that also. All right, see all these different collections. So for example, I can add her to Connie Fong. All right, so I'm going to select the print, then cut, because I want it to actually have this print. If I choose this, it's just going to choose this, and that's what it's going to give me. But I want this way. I want it printed out so that I can color it. So now I'm going to upload. So I click the upload button. And you can see here that it's been added to Connie Fong, and you can see that it's right here in my recent uploads. Now I left click the image I want to upload, hit add to canvas, and there she is. Now she's unlocked right now. That's the first thing you want to check and see if your image came in locked or unlocked. I want to immediately lock that. Now I'm going to size her down, and there she is. Now again, I told you that these hairs are going to be a problem. Now, there are these little hearts here, and I would want those separate, but they're already with the image. If I go to offset this now, it's going to have big white around all of this. So let me just show you. So let's offset this and see how these hearts are included in. And if I make it smaller, then it looks like this. I'm not very fond of that. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a shape. And you can pick any shape you like. I'm going to pick a circle. I know I need 3 circles, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to duplicate that. I am going to right click on my mouse and duplicate. Right click, duplicate. I'm going to lay this right over this heart. select them both, and slice. I'm going to bring my second in, and I really could almost pick it up. Yeah, I can pick up both of those if I want to. And slice. And now I have just my little piggy. All right. So this is all trash. We don't need any of this now, so we can just get rid of it. I'm just going to hit delete on my keyboard. And now this is what I have left. Oops, I missed these two guys. Now I can come in and individually go ahead and offset these. That will make them just a little bit bigger for when I color it and make it look like little die cuts. Now, if you want it smaller than 0.097, the offset, you can use your keyboard arrows and just hit your left arrow, and that makes it about 0.056, which I like. All right, so let's go back and do that. So we're going to offset. We want 0.056. I'm using the little arrows on my keyboard. And now I hit apply. I'm going to do the same thing for these two. Let's see if they'll do it separately. They will. I hit apply. And now I'm going to get little Lulu here. All right. So let's just get our hearts. Let's move them out of the way. Bring Lulu to the middle. Say offset. And there it is. Already done. I'm going to hit apply. And there's my offset. We've got our offset result. We're going to bring it in as white. So we just come down and hit the white. Now we're going to choose them both. Hit flatten. And there it is. Ready to go. We're going to do the same thing with this. Choose it here. Make it white. And come over to this panel. Flatten. Same thing with these little hearts. I want the background white. I click the white up here. Now I'm going to flatten these. And now these are all ready to print and cut as little images, little die cuts, okay? Now, just so you can see this, because I realize it's hard to see white on white, I'm just going to make this red. I'm going to move it to the back so you can see what this is going to look like now. So there's little hearts here. So now you can see how we've created this die cut that we can use for our project. So let's go on over to the craft table and let's add Lulu to a card. Okay, here we are at the craft table, and here's my little Lulu all cut. Here's my card base. Here are some papers I'm going to use as her background, sort of to stage her onto the card. That's going to be my card front. And these two pieces will go in as my sentiment. I'm also using this Kaisercraft sticker sheet. Use a couple of little stickers off of there. All right, so first, since I've got a piggy on here, I decided I would sort of scruff up this top layer of the card. I'm using a tool from Close to My Heart to do that. If you don't have it, if you're careful, you can use scissors. It'll do the same thing. And you just sort of roll it in here at the edge, and then I'm going to ink it up with some blue Close to My Heart ink. And that'll just sort of draw the eye towards the center a little more and finish off those edges. I'm going to do the same thing to my inside piece for my sentiment. And I'm going to use a little poppy to go around the actual sentiment that's going inside the card. This is my trick for placing pieces onto cardstock. I just simply get them on where I want them, hold it with the heel of my hand, and then roll it up and put it in place with ATG. For me, that's the quickest way to do it. I find that if I measure and I do all that, it doesn't turn out any straighter than if I just go about it this way. So it's quick and it's easy for me, and it's just easier for me to eyeball it. Now I'm going to come in and pick up one of those little hearts, and I'm going to stick that right over the top. But first I'm going to finish off the edges with a little bit of that poppy ink. Again, it just gives a little more finished look. And there's the inside of my card. Now the outside. I'm going to come in and ink up that. That polka dot is actually the reverse side of the hearts. So if you're thinking, wow, those colors match really well, that's why they were actually meant to go together. Now I'm pinning a little weight on the back, and I'm just doing that so it pops off of the blue a little stronger. And again, this basically just stages little Lulu because she was getting lost when I just put her on top of the pattern paper. So putting her on top of the polka dots seemed to just work a little better for me. Now I'm going to come in with my Fabri-Tac over some of the ATG. This gives me some wiggle room in case I don't get this as straight as I'd like. I can move it around a little bit. Coming in with a couple of pieces of embroidery floss. One is a light paler pink and the other is a dark, almost burgundy. And I'm going to wrap 2 times and just tie a simple knot. That's all I'm going to do here. And I'm creating sort of an X there. Again, since we have sort of a country sort of farm-like motif here with the pig, I thought it would be fun just to use some embroidery floss to imitate some twine. Of course, I don't know many pigs who have, pink twine in their barns, but I'm sure some might. Some of those 4-H girls probably do. All right, coming back to the Kaisercraft, I have this XOXO, and so I'm just going to cut that off and round out around that O and use that along the top. Now, some of the little O's didn't get punched quite. I mean, they are punched, but the little pieces didn't fall out. So I'm just coming in with a piercing tool and just knocking them out. That's all I'm doing here. This already has sticky on it because it's a sticker. So I'm just going to stick it in place and that'll take care of that. Quick and easy. Next, we're going to move on, and I've decided I'm going to put a little bit of lace behind that torn spot. It's just going to peek out from behind there. So I'm just sort of getting everything laid out on the card front, how I want to put it. But before I actually glue it down, whenever I put twine on a card, I like to raise the card up and create channels for the twine. It just helps the card to lay very flat, and the twine has a place to lay so that it's not going in, pressing into the card. So I just cut cereal box and I just create those channels, and it also just adds a little bit of interest, adding dimension there. So you can see that I'm just sort of placing these little pieces of cereal box in, again, creating channels for the embroidery floss. Then when it lays on the card, the embroidery floss really doesn't make contact with the card front, just the flat pieces of cardstock do. And then underneath that will go that little itty bitty piece of lace. And I'm just going to temporarily tape it and then throw a little bit of Fabri-Tac on. And then when I put the card on top of it, it's going to all just stick in there together. You'll see here when we lay this down that it'll catch the tops there. Now I decided, you know what, let's go full out and let's really pop her off. So I'm just drawing a little outline. I could have cut this on my Cricut machine. Okay, I could have cut it. I've done that with shapes before. But I thought, you know what, I can do this really quickly. Just freehand cut it and pop her off. So instead of leaving and going back to the Cricut machine, I just cut it there by hand. If you follow my videos, you know that when we're coming to the sparkles and gems, we're at the end of the video. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this video and possibly picked up a tip or a trick for Design Space, or using cereal boxes and layering, or tying twine or something. Leave me a comment below in the box if you'd like, or I'd address any questions you might have, and I will leave for you all the information you need if you would like to make a card like this or find little Lulu. All right. Hey, come join us at Cut It Up Challenges. I'll leave the information for that in the box below also, so you can find us at Cut It Up, where our theme is love. So perfect right now for Valentine's Day, right? All right. Have a great week, and I'll catch up with you in the next video. Bye.